thought our effort was very good. We had some breakdowns late in our assignments, which our guys did a good job throughout the game, but just we had some untimely breakdowns defensively, and then we had a couple ill-advised shots and a couple turnovers. And I talked to our guys at Wisconsin. I said, we can't have more than 10 turnovers. I said, they're going to have 8, and they had 8 because that's their average. And we had 12. And when it comes down to, having 2 more possessions playing at the Kohl Center, it is a huge deal. We just didn't play well enough down the stretch, and hopefully we could build on that. And then against Maryland, we simply just had too many breakdowns defensively, and then didn't take care of the basketball. We just have to play better, and we have some guys not finish some plays, whether that's shots or it's around the rim, and that's going to happen. But you have to limit your breakdowns, and you have to give yourself a chance. And having 16 turnovers, no matter where you play a game in the Big Ten Conference, you're just not going to win. You better just shoot lights out if you do. And we simply weren't good enough to win that game.
Thanks, Coach. Let's go straight to questions, please.
If you'd like to ask a question during this time, simply press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. Your first question comes from the line of Nathan Baird with the Lafayette Journal.
Hey, Matt. Good morning.
Morning, Nate.
These one-game weeks, is there, and I mean, especially, I guess you can address the one that you have this week, does it come at an opportune time for you to address some things, or would you prefer to sort of stay in the routine of the midweek weekend setup?
Well, in a normal situation, when you have an older team, you like playing that Saturday, Wednesday. When you're a younger team, I thought the practices before we started Big Ten play really helped us, and with a younger team. And so I like this at this time for us because I think we've made improvements, but we have to be mentally tougher, and we have to do a better job of executing down the stretch on both ends of the court. We had breakdowns in the Maryland game, more defensively than anything, and just didn't do what we had set out to do, and guarded some of their action. And so we just got to get that corrected. I think our mistakes are very correctable. But no, I'd like the break right now. Now, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I might not have said that, but as you come into it, I like having a lot of practice. When we've had a lot of practices with this group in succession, we've done that. When we've had a lot of games in a stretch where we had 4 games in 8 days, it's been hard. Now, this was our 4th game. If you look at, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, out of the 4 games, in terms of, how you played, you would rank how we played against Maryland in that 4-game segment, easily last. And why that is, I just think you get away from having those practices and being able to, drill home what we need to do. And I think that happens with youth. And we have some young guys who play a lot. They got to morph into kind of sophomores here as freshmen. Some of those sophomores that we have got to try to be, juniors. And it's just the way it is. You have to show your experience. And if you don't have that experience, you got to show some toughness and some maturity for a young guy to help your team win. So I like our pieces. I like our guys, and like I said, I think what we've struggled with are very correctable things. And so I'm happy that we have some practices here. Thanks.
Your next question comes from the line of Brian Newbert with Golden Black Illustrated.
Yeah, hey, Matt, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm all right. Hey, where are you right now with zone, and how come it hasn't worked to this point that it can't be a bigger part of what you do?
We contemplated, using big guys with it, and we didn't. When you get against, good shooting teams, like when we got against BYU, it's difficult. Get against a team like Maryland, it's difficult. There's so much skill that like Minnesota puts out on the court, and then the system Michigan has, I think they're good against the zone. And anytime we've watched the better teams that we've played, whether it's Kansas State, and we used it a lot, it just seems like the better teams are good against. Tom Izzo's, very good at attacking the zone. A lot of the things that we've done throughout the league in 10 years, I just kind of take a step back and trying to figure it out. I watch Michigan State attack it. And, it helps also Draymond Green's in the high post. But they've done some really good things against Northwestern and Bill Carmody and a lot of different people. And so when you face better coaches and you face better teams and you face more skill, I like mixing it up and I like changing some things up. But, as it gradually grew, they were scoring more on us. When we went to the zone against North Florida, they scored, 8 points in one stretch. So each time I've dabbled with it, it hasn't been successful. And I like, the defensive progress we've made, even though we've struggled. Ours is more the approach and the process and being in the right position. Once we're in the right position, our guys have done a better job. Each guy's got a little bit of an ailment, but you have to understand when you get to the zone, they're still going to have those. It's not like the rules. When people score against us, it's more of us breaking down in the zone. When people score against us, it's more against, us breaking down. So I think that's more important than anything. Thanks.
We've got time for one more question from the media, please, Darla.
And your final question comes from the line of Andrew Kahn with CBS Local.
Hi, Coach. I'm wondering from your perspective how you view the final minute or two of a close game as far as whether you think maybe the excitement is sapped from it a bit with all the replay reviews and timeouts that teams have, and if you'd be in favor of maybe, limiting what replay can look at or even possibly having a timeout or two removed from each team for the second half just to keep an exciting game.
I don't think so. I think getting it right is more important than the excitement of the last 2 minutes. If it goes a little bit longer, so be it. As long as they get right, it's hard. It's hard to officiate certain things. And we had a play the other night in the game where we trapped a guy in the corner and he was stuck. And the referee has so many things to look at right there. The guy travels and drags his foot, and the guy misses it. But he's got so many things to look at with the ball handler and two guys defending him. Sideline, baseline. So there's so many things that they have. Any help they can get. It's a hard game to officiate at times, especially when you get the last minute, and things are so important. So anything that you can do, to help the officials, I think that supersedes it. Even though your points, well taken. There's no doubt about that. How it gets to be very, very long with it, but it's very important. It's important to your fans. It's important to your school. It's important to the players and coaches. So I think you kind of move in that direction versus, the length of the actual game.
All right, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Coach, we appreciate your time this morning. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.